Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Tangents. How
Hey,
is
that's
that?
my thing.
No, how was my impression of you? Did it seem very faithful to
It was
the?
pretty good. It wasn't as guttural as I would have liked, but it was pretty good overall.
Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Tangents. How's that?
That was like 10 out of 10 right there.
Thank you. I hope I didn't just blow out everyone's eardrums.
I hope you did.
All right. Well, this week, Dylan, I'm going to incorporate once again my real life into the podcast, but this time you're helping me, Dylan.
I'm helping you put your real life into the podcast.
Well, yes, but you're helping me figure out my life.
Oh, man, you've had a therapist for a couple of years now, and if he hasn't managed to help, I'm not sure I can.
Well, here's the difference. He gets paid for it. You have to do it for free.
I get paid in the views, baby.
Yeah, all four. Okay. So, for peeling back the curtain for anyone listening, first time or whatever, your mom. I was sleeping in my car for 2.5 years. Didn't have my own room. Blah blah blah. Recently, been sleeping in my parents' bed because that kind of gave me back pain, and I'm way too young for that. But for the first time since pre-COVID, so over 3 years, I will be having my own bedroom. And
Oh,
Dylan, as you might recall, when I had my own apartment, I had no idea what to do with it, and it was the most minimalist, boring room ever.
it was. We played with your Google Play or whatever the fuck it's called for an hour because that was the only thing we could do in your room.
Yeah, my room was pretty great. So this time, you're gonna help me figure out on the one hand, what to put in my room, like realistically and literally, but also just more like hypothetically, what is the ideal dream bedroom?
Man, if we were only a little bit more wealthy, then we could do it like the big Twitch streamers and just you give me your credit card and I decorate your room for you.
Yeah, but we're gonna stay a little more realistic because until this takes off, we can't really do that.
Until, so that means it will.
Yeah, I'm glad you got that wording.
Okay.
So, all right. First off, we're just going to start with the one core central question that I've actually been wrestling with myself with.
Twin bed.
Well, actually, no, that's not what I was going to ask, but that is a great place to start. What size bed should I get?
Um, from when I've seen you just like sleep, as I often have,
Yeah, you just stand there staring at me with binoculars.
yeah, I don't know how much room you honestly need because we have shared a full bed together several times.
And I think
We
it was
have.
pretty comfortable.
Yeah, it was fine. You slept on a couch at my house for like 3 months. You have slept in a car for 2.5 years. Like, I think a full bed is, in my opinion, the ideal size for a single person, but
Yeah.
also you're skinny and you have been sleeping in very small spaces. So, unless you're like, man, I really want to sprawl out because I haven't been able to do that, then I think if you're just used to it, go twin bed.
Yeah, that's the thing I was considering was like if I go with a twin, I will have so much more room to put stuff in my room, which we'll get to later. But then I was just kind of thinking, I looked up on Reddit, what is the ideal size? And everyone said, get a queen. That way, if anyone ever sleeps with you, you'll be set. But I don't exactly plan on bringing anyone over to my
T-
parents' house.
yeah, exactly.
One can make the argument I could just take the mattress when I move out, but I don't see that happening within the next couple of years.
Mhm.
So it's just I'm thinking full. Is that what we're for my dream Jonathan room? Are we going with the full?
Yeah, like I said, it all depends on one, how big your room is, because I don't know how big it is,
Mhm.
and two, how much you value sprawling out. Because, like I said, you haven't done that in the past 3 years, pretty much, and I'm not sure if that's by choice or if that's by preference.
I I assure you, it's not by preference because you know, wouldn't prefer to sleep in my car.
Oh, I don't know. It's like I showed you that Japanese guy who was naked for so long on live stream that it took him 6 months to get used to wearing clothes. Like maybe you've been sleeping in cars so long that now you just can't feel alive anymore unless someone's staring at you through your car window as you sleep.
I mean, unironically, I have slept in a few friends' beds, and I just opt to sleep on the floor because it's more comfortable sometimes. Like, I think it did genuinely mess me up a little bit, but we're going to assume I can get used to a bed. So we're saying Jonathan's ideal room has a full bed. We're going with that.
Okay, I will note the downside to a full bed, which is a twin is normally used for children, so you can get some really funny bed sheets. But a full, like I don't know, maybe a middle schooler, but okay.
Well, I do have the body composition of a middle schooler, as everyone is aware.
You really do. I was 5'9" in eighth grade, and I am 5'9" now. But you're 5'6" right now, and you weigh like 115.
Ha! I've been going to the gym, buddy. I'm 124.
Are you really? Dude, 115 was me already giving you, like, okay, Jonathan's normally like 112. Let's say he put on 3 pounds. You put on 12 pounds? You're fucking huge, man. You fat slut.
Thank you. I weighed myself before I started going. I was 115. That's been my batting weight for a little bit. So I've gained about 9 pounds, and that's my like day to day weight now. And I've that puts me exactly 1 pound below where my doctor wanted to be at the minimum. So I'm getting there.
That is huge. That is completely like non sequitur from what we were just talking or what the podcast is going to be about. But congrats on that, man.
Honestly, thank you. Like, if you actually, like, see me shirtless, I don't look like I'm, like, starving anymore. Like, if my stomach's actually filled out a little bit, like, you can see my ribs, but it's not like, I don't look like a
They're not baby
hyena
back
from
ribs
The Lion
anymore.
King or something.
Yeah.
So, a bit of an improvement there.
Okay.
Okay, so, moving on to the next part of, this ideal bedroom. This is another thing I've been wrestling with, like, unironically.
Yeah, yeah.
Does my room need a TV?
Okay, well, let's go back to a question that I brought up that's kind of important earlier.
How big is the
Do
room?
you know the dimensions of your room? And if not, can you give like me and the viewers, aka my mom, a like general like comparison that we can get an idea of?
Okay, so I don't have the exact dimensions. No, that would be a fantastic thing to bring up. But if I was to just think of rooms that you have seen, and then maybe I could give for the average person, uh, think of my UCI apartment, but you don't have the bathroom filling in one corner of the room, and you don't have the closet filling out the other corner. So it's actually a square and not like cut in half.
Gotcha, but the bathroom was not connected. So are we including the hallway as part of your room?
No, but what I mean is like at my urban apartment, like it wasn't a square. It was a really dumb shape where two corners were concaving inward because of the like nearby rooms, which was kind of annoying. So I'm just saying, like,
Gotcha.
imagine it wasn't doing that, and just the you're inside my bedroom. That's probably around the right size.
Okay, well then, for people who haven't been to Jonathan's apartment,
Yeah, I'm looking up the apartment dimensions right now as we
I
speak.
would guess, which once you look it up now, will probably look like a dumbass. That was probably means your room is 10 by 10.
All right, I am looking it up right now. Let's see floor
Either
plans.
10 by 10 or 12 by 12. Those are my guesses.
The average room, it really does it not say on the UCI website? That is really stupid.
Hmm.
I actually think the UCI website does not tell you the actual dimensions of the rooms. Let me look it up. Yeah, no. I guess we'll go with 10 by 10 until I can find the actual dimensions. This is astounding.
Well, Jonathan, I'm using ChatGPT, and it says the typical apartment bedroom, can vary, but on average, 10 feet by 12 feet. So I was pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll say it's in that vicinity. Not gonna argue with that. So about 10 by 10, 10 to 10 by 12, somewhere around there, folks.
Okay.
So yeah, now that we've got the dimensions out of the way, the reason my argument for having a TV or not, most of my stuff done at this point is done on the computer. It's a gaming computer. I pirate everything on my computer. Like I as of right now, I almost never use my TV. I could theoretically use it for my PS4 or my Switch, but I almost never play my PS4, and my Switch, I don't even own a dock for as of this moment. So, I feel like that's just kind of stretching. Like it just feels like putting a TV in there just to have a TV.
Well, I do have a question because, like, perspective, space can change everything.
Mhm.
And that is like, I generally didn't watch too much TV or anything like when I was living at my dad's place because it just didn't work out. But like at my house in Korea or even here, when there's a TV that's right by your bed and you can just like lay down and watch stuff, it's a bit nicer. And I know that you enjoy Netflix
Oh,
stuff. Like in your mind, if you got like you can get a cheap smart TV. I think my mom even got like a 30-inch smart TV or something like that for like $100 on Amazon. So if you can get that, one, you can wall mount it pretty damn easily, and
yeah.
two, if you have like a dresser with clothes in it, you can do that. Where like if you don't want it, that's fine. But since it goes on top of a dresser or on a wall, it's not like that space is going to be used up by anything else if you don't have a TV, unless you have like a new, anime titty collection that I don't know about.
Well, I wouldn't say it's new. It's
Oh
just I
god.
always hid it from you.
Yeah, well, I did get you that Tom Brady pillow, so
Oh yeah, yeah, that you don't want to know what I've been using that for.
I really don't.
But all jokes aside, that's a valid counter argument. Like I could still use my PS4 or Switch to like go on YouTube or other things and like watch things while I'm laying down. Like that is a luxury I've been missing for years. And
Yeah, I mean, you can, play Final Fantasy on your Switch as you have Blue Period on Netflix in the background.
yeah, yeah, that way I'll definitely get to Blue Period next, as I am totally planning as I'm now finishing Rick and Morty.
Yes, yes, you are.
But yeah, so okay, so you're saying that I should go with the TV.
Like I said, unless, well, first of all, I'm assuming you have a dresser in the room. Is that correct?
We're getting one.
Okay, so if you're having a dresser in the room, if not a TV, what else would go there?
Uh,
Cups?
plushies.
Really?
I do own quite. I probably own like 6 or 7 plushies. Just like that, I've won at like round one, and one that I got as YouTube merch.
I think plushies are good corner decorations. I don't see them as on top of dresser decorations. So I still say go with the
Oh,
TV.
so I do have a place in my room where there just isn't enough place to put anything realistically because the door and closet configuration. I could put the plushies there.
See, I'm already figuring it out for you.
Thank you. You just got to my next point. Obviously, the essential part of any room is where to put the plushies.
It's number one.
Mm. That was going to be the first thing I was going to start with, I assure you. Okay. So next up, I guess, in terms of other important things in a bedroom, closet doors. This has become a point of contention with the
Are you asking if you
ironically
should install closet doors?
what type of closet doors? Do you get the full like standing mirror body type ones, or do
Wait,
you
is this
have
a real question? Are you changing out the closet doors or is this just for podcast?
the closet doors have in fact been switched out? So there is no closet door, and there will be ones being put in.
Oh shit.
So, are you more of the mindset of you should have the full body mirror that way you can see what you look like every day before you head out, or are you thinking you don't really like having a mirror at you at all times, kind of awkward? Maybe you should just get a wooden door, that kind of thing.
Um I'm honestly, I don't care too much either way. The thing that I would like to suggest, which I know that you won't do, but it would still be my preference, is doors fucking suck, man. Because you open one up and it takes space. But if you have like a sliding mechanism, then it's just like it collapses. It doesn't take up any more space. So I would suggest getting some kind of sliding door.
Okay, yeah, I could go with sliding. The closet used to have sliding. My only minor dislike with sliding ones is like you don't have access to the full closet at once like you do with ones that open outward. But I do agree, I don't like how much space those take.
Yeah.
So sliding, but either way, whether it's a wooden sliding or a glass sliding is irrelevant in your mind.
Yes, for me it is.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Other important thing. Let me think. Okay, light bulbs, another important thing, Dylan. Do you like bright light daylight ones, or do you like soft yellow ones that aren't so hard on the eyes?
Um, I prefer soft yellow ones because if you are still the Jonathan that I remember and
I
stayed up
am.
playing Diablo with, you go a little bit degen sometimes, and you stay up kind of late. And when you're up at midnight, or God forbid 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and you have a tactical flashbang constantly going off on the ceiling of your room, it kind of, one, hurts your eyes, and two, makes you self-conscious that everyone else in the neighborhood can see your room.
You're not even wrong, like, cause the room used to have the bright ass, like, spotlight, looks like the FBI is looking for you kind of thing,
Yeah, there's
and
literally someone across the street. We live on the fifth floor of an apartment building who they are like a block and a half away, and when they have their light on at night, we can see because it's so fucking bright.
I think you might have helped me make the decision just like that.
Yeah.
But, like, I guess to finish that point, I would be, like, laying down, cause like, sometimes you, like, lay down on your phone, but you're not actually going to bed yet.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be, like, 2 a.m., I'm like, "God, I'm getting headaches just because of how bright this light in my eyes is." So I would only have 1 light bulb out of 4 plugged in at any given time.
Yeah.
So thinking the soft yellow might be a bit better, that's what we're officially deciding, right?
Yeah, soft yellow.
Okay, soft yellow. Next question. Do you like blinds? Do you like curtains? Or do you like shutters?
Um okay. Let's because I've had all three of these, so I can
Yeah, yeah,
actually
so this
think.
is actually you're a great point of reference for me.
Okay. Blinds have an upside and a downside. They look, or sorry, curtains have an upside and, well, everything has an upside and downside. That's the real point here, Jonathan. So curtains, they look the nicest. One thing that's annoying with them is you can never get the middle completely closed because they don't overlap. You can get them close enough that they pretty much block out everything, but then if they're right next to your bed, then sometimes you roll and you accidentally rip the fucking curtains off the wall. And then
Mhm.
also they don't tend to be thick enough to actually do stuff. Um, blinds are good, but especially knowing the place that you're in, unless you invest in some nice blinds, I just imagine those really shitty. I don't even know what the material is.
Like
It's
the
like,
plastic or
yeah, it's
whatever.
pseudo plastic that just like gathers dust as the easiest thing as possible. Like, I hate those. If you know, like the blinds that were at my mom's house, where it's more wooden kind of blinds, those I'm down for,
Yeah, those look nice.
but you got to invest in those.
When I lived at UCI, that was my first and only time in my life, like, having, like, blinds, like the cheap little plastic ones. Ooh, I never knew I hated them until that.
They really are just like, they suck. They don't cover everything as much as you want. They're always white and somehow have the most dust known to mankind.
And they kinda get I don't know about your experience, but they kinda get stuck at certain points too, like, maybe one blind kinda hooks and overlaps with
It
another.
does. It's just super fucky. So, like, I would say if you're willing to invest, go blinds. If you're not, go curtains.
And what do you think about, like, shutters? Like, the ones with, like, the little handles that you pull all of them up at once, like, from the middle?
Um, Those are fine. The only issue is that if you want the entire room exposed to sunlight, they're always going to have the dividers put in there. So it's just like it's the same thing as the door issue of, unless you somehow get sliding shutters, which is just blinds, then you kind of deprive yourself of that.
That's fair. The room used to have shutters that would open outward, almost kinda like a door. The only issue there was, that the TV would get in the way, so I never could actually, do that. Um,
Gotcha.
Granted, this time around, I might just flip the bed and TV, like, arrangement in the room, but you get the idea.
Yeah, yeah.
So, that's an option, that's an option.
Okay.
Next question, very important. Actually, I have a very strong opinion on this one, and then I'll reveal what's actually been done in the room.
Okay.
What kind of flooring do you like in a bedroom? Are you a carpet that because the floor you don't want to be too cold in the morning kind of person, or are you more of a hardwood floor because it's easier to clean? Like, where do you stand?
Well, can I guess what yours is, which is also a partial reason why I choose this?
Yes.
Jonathan, you are not too much so, but a bit of a germaphobe.
Uh huh.
If you have a carpet, hair, dirt, crumbs get in there and are trapped so fucking easy. And you can vacuum and vacuum and vacuum. And if you, like, cut everything down and look at the bottom, it doesn't make a fucking difference. Like, yeah, it's going to be cleaner, but it is never going to be fully clean. Where a wood floor, like, yeah, it's not as comfortable to sit down on, but one, if you want to go on the floor, you can put down a fucking blanket and a pillow and
Uh,
it's fine. And two, it's your bedroom. You have a bed right fucking there. So I have to say wood floor.
you're 1,000% correct. It's got the wooden linoleum flooring. It
Yeah.
used to have carpet, and I hated it because one, by far, my least favorite chore in the world is probably vacuuming.
Yes.
'Cause it's loud, obnoxious, and like you said, no matter how much you vacuum, it just never seems to get the job done somehow.
Hmm.
Even at it's also annoying because I have cats and just the fur adds up, it's annoying, it's just ah, even at Irvine, you'll recall I had a strict no shoe in the room policy because I want to
Hmm.
keep it as clean as possible. That flooring still got dusty somehow, I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of my favorite things about Korea is like carpet floors are not a thing in Korea. Every single house has wooden floors, and actually, a lot of the nicer ones, the wooden floors have like heaters built into them. So during the winter when it gets cold, but you live in California, so you don't need that. But
Absolutely not.
yeah, but just the idea that you can mop things and you can visibly see this needs to be cleaned or doesn't versus a vacuum. Realistically, you'd need to vacuum every fucking day because I don't trust that carpet.
Yeah, God, carpet is just the worst thing. I can understand the appeal of like a brand new clean carpet, and then that appeal for me goes away in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, that is fair. Like, unless you have someone professionally cleaning your house, then I just say fuck no. Like, if you want a rug, I can accept this. But if you're a carpet person, then please feel free to make us go down to 3 viewers on the podcast.
You and I are on the same page. Next question. Wall color. And yes, I know that's dependent on floor color and everything, but are you like a plain white or plain black is the best? Or are you actually more like a you like colored walls, whether it's a blue, green, etc.?
Okay, well, I want to question real quick. Plain black? When have you been in a house that has plain black? Like, just walking into a house and it's pitch fucking black? That's horrifying.
Okay, that's kind of funny because I kind of wanted black walls in the room before my sister said no.
Like, I've seen some grays. Don't get me wrong, but I'm imagining like just pitch black. That doesn't matter what kind of blinds you have at that point. Your room is like don't get me wrong. I enjoy dark mode on everything that I use. That just sounds terrible.
It's like you walk into the room and you walked into the ether.
Seriously, it is. Um, so
Okay, so I guess pretty much every person I've told about this has said it's a bad idea. So I'm glad I'm not calling the shots.
okay, okay. I personally would say either white or some kind of light color because I've been in places where it's like a maroon color or like a darkish gray and stuff like that. And it's just one of those things where at night it's going to be dark anyway, no matter what color room you have. But
Hmm.
if you have darker colors and it's the daytime and you don't have a window in all four directions in your room, then it still just makes the room darker and it feels like you never actually just get some nice sunlight in there.
That's fair. I think that makes a lot of sense. My sister is making similar arguments, and now the room is a pretty bright, not bright, pretty light blue. Like you can
Yeah.
tell it's blue, but it's much more on the lighter end of the spectrum.
Yeah, I think it's better to go light blue than it is white because white can be really nice, but also it's really showing if you get like any little nicks or marks on there, where the blue at least has some color where it can like blend in with any dents or just marks or anything.
Yeah, since I couldn't get my black, my hard qualifier was I don't want white, and I think a light blue is probably a good, you know, halfway point. And it's got white baseboards in the room and like it's kind of a decent gray for the wood flooring, so it kind of looks nice and works with that.
Dude, I just want to make the opposite in this room where we where there's no TV, so there's just like no light sources. You get the flashbang bright light on the top of the ceiling, but everything is black. Like the more and more I picture this, it's just an interrogation room.
Honestly, though, that's basically what my Irvine room was.
Yeah.
Uh, I think at the end of this, we could just do a quick rundown of the worst room at the end of
Yeah,
it.
I'd be down for that.
All right, let's think. Other actually important things. I guess this is one I'm debating on still. Like again, unironically, I am actually trying to get advice on this. Um, the actual thing underneath the bed. Like, do you like I don't know the right way to word it, but like the stand for the bed. Do you like the one that's up off the floor and you could slide things under it, or do you kind of like a solid wooden one, maybe one that even has drawers? Like, where do you stand on this, or are you a mattress on the floor kind of person?
This for me is 100% depending on how much room you have available. If you are like, man, I do not need to store anything, then I'd say get the one that's solid and you don't need to put anything under. Because once again, even if it's wood floor and it's easier to clean, that's just place for dust to gather. And it's just like, it's a hassle to clean, even if it's not that bad. Where if you're just like, hey, I have, too many plushes, some of them need to go under the bed, I have, a suitcase, I have blah blah blah, then that's just making a more use of your room. So that all depends on how much shit you actually have.
Yeah, I think that's a valid argument. For me, I'd say I have boxes of stuff. Like I have a box for my computer monitor. That way, if I ever want to move or whatever, like when I was moving to and from Irvine, all my screens were just hazardly put in, like seat buckled into the car, and like just hoping nothing broke them. In fact, nothing did break them.
Hmm.
But I have boxes for that, my microphone, stuff like that. I could just slide that under the bed if the closet's not enough space. So
Yeah.
I might lean towards that, but I could definitely. I don't know. Should I be concerned that that looks trashy, or is that kind of what everyone does with that space?
Honestly, that's kind of what everyone does with that space. Plus, if you want to, like, I know that it's a little bit more work, but especially if you're staying there for a while and you just want to make your life easier, just like cut all of the tape from the box and just fold it so it's completely flat. And then when you actually need to use it, you can pop it back out and then just like scotch tape, or probably not scotch tape, but like packing tape the sides. And that way you have the box again.
You know what? That's a fantastic thing that I actually hadn't thought of.
Yeah, it's a good way to save a lot of room, and it's really not that hard to just it makes storage so much better.
I might just do that. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, next thing. Um, off the top of my head, is there anything you think I'm missing? Because I can't think of anything too major left in a bedroom.
Okay. Well, I do have one question. This is just a personal preference thing.
Uh,
How many pillows? Some people are like, give me 10 fucking pillows. Some people are like, one pillow is all I need. And for you, when you're just a single person on the bed, how many pillows?
oh, so I am actually very strongly. I like 2 pillows specifically, because 10, obviously too many, and, like, some people do the 4, that way you could double up if you need, but point being, I like the 2 because my 2 pillows are not the same, they have different purposes.
Is it the same fluffy pillow that I remember you having?
One of them should be, if you stayed at my house in Irvine, they're both the same pillows.
Okay.
House, apartment, you know what I mean? Point
Yeah.
being, the 2 pillows were different. I always had you sleeping on the fluffy one because I wanted the better one.
That is fair.
But point being, so one of them is more of a memory foam, with a like self-cooling thing. That pillow never gets hot. That pillow, like your head sinks in. It's amazing. But sometimes I don't actually always want that, especially in the colder months. So the other one is, yes, just a very fluffy pillow, kind of standard, and nothing too remarkable about it, but it is genuinely fluffy.
Okay.
So I like 2 pillows because they serve different functions.
I will say, if I had your pillow, then I would agree 2 is enough. But any pillow that I bought, give it 2 months and then it becomes just as flat as your chest. Um, where it just like it loses any puff to it whatsoever. So for me, I would need 3 because 2 of them need to go on top of each other to make one normal fucking pillow, and then I like one to hug. But I remember your memory foam one, like keeps its shape or its puffiness really, really well. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I will say is because I didn't well, I don't remember why I didn't bring my pillows with me to Irvine, like my old pillows. I just remember, yeah, I don't know why I didn't take them. I think I just assumed I would come back and my room would be there, maybe if I wanted to stay, like, over for the weekend or something, like, visit, like, Allie or something.
Hmm.
But, of course, a dog got moved into the room. Point being, staying on subject, when I got there, I was shopping for pillows, and I kind of realized, it supports your head. I wasn't gonna go with the Walmart like $3 pillow because I assumed that would be trash, and it in fact is. I felt my mom's pillows are the worst pillows I've ever experienced. They're like pancakes.
Those are probably the ones that we have then.
I would highly recommend investing in a pillow because my memory foam one was about, I want to say it might have been $60. I spent a good amount of money on it,
I
and then
would
the one
have
I
to
had you
guess.
Yeah, and the one I had you sleeping on was, I wanna say $40.
Yeah, because we've gone to TJ Maxx. That's where we got our pillows, and I think we found like them for 30 or 40 bucks a piece, but they're just not very great. I really feel like, yeah, you probably have to drop like $80 on a solid pillow.
Yeah, a couple of months ago, I mentioned, like, my favorite YouTuber did a video, like, reviewing, like, what is the best pillow, and yeah, the best ones were consistently, like, over $100, which sounds ridiculous, but as someone who bought a $60 pillow, nah, it makes a difference, like, that's the best thing I've ever laid on, like, I've never experienced sleep like I did until I slept on that thing.
All right, all right.
So, I'm definitely a 2 pillow kinda guy, but if you're using cheaper pillows, I could definitely see why you would need to double up or even borderline triple up depending.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess this is a valid, like, question in which, I really suffer with, but room decorations, whether it's posters, lights, just general aesthetic things, like, how much is too much? How much is too little? What kind of thing is trashy? Just general opinions on that.
So the thing with me is one, even at the place that we're in right now, we like to change the layout of the room every couple of months. And I feel like because if you have stuff up, it gets old, it gets worn, and it gets boring after, a little bit of time, a little bit of time still being months, but whatever. So I would suggest either go for something nice and timeless. If you're going to get like posters, get it so it's not just a poster on the wall taped up or whatever. Get it so it's framed, get it so it's something that's not just like, okay, well, I don't really give a shit about this anymore. Make it something that's like visually good, and then like I'm down for it. Or just go like bare bones, because then at least you can go into the room and it never feels like claustrophobic with just like I'm surrounded by all of this shit, and half of it's worn out and dusty and blah blah blah.
Yeah. Is it ever weird, in your opinion, to walk into a room that is, pretty bare and minimalistic? Because every time someone walked into my Irvine apartment, they always gave me the comment, "I like how minimalistic it is." Which, granted, in that case, yeah, obviously they're saying they like it, but like, it always felt a little weird. Like, huh, maybe this isn't something that the average normal person does. Like, is it a little weird?
It's a little weird, but honestly, I would have that same reaction of I did like how your Irvine room was. It was minimalistic, but also because of that, it didn't feel cramped or crowded. And like if you own a whole house to yourself and you have, a bedroom and like a second bedroom, but you're living by yourself, so you turn it into like a game room or something or some shit like that, then I can say sure, decorate one of the rooms. But when you're like most people our age who just have one room to their selves, when you put posters on the wall and then some decorations and some bookshelves and all of this shit, it ends up feeling really tight and cramped really quick.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the reason this is on my mind is because, like, most of my friends are heavily into decorations. Like, some of my friends have, like, neon lights around their entire room. It looks like a Christmas tree when they turn it on.
Well, I did that in my room in high school, and like I said,
Yeah.
it's something where if that is your gaming room, your TV room, your whatever room, then I think that works. But then when you go and you want to sleep at that place at night, and you look at the walls, and like this is on the walls, and the bookshelves are on the wall, and this is over here, and everything, it just ends up feeling like just a lot.
That's fair. So maybe, despite my attraction to the idea, maybe just be aware of it. Grass isn't always greener, is what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, just definitely if you're gonna get something, make it something that's not just like a spur of the moment of like, oh, I guess this poster's kind of cool. Like, make it something that's a very intentional choice.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to think on that then. I because I don't want to be like contrasting. Like, here's my Steins Gate poster, and here's my Breaking Bad one.
That would be a little bit interesting.
That would be genuinely funny, but I don't think that would work well considering my Tom Brady mural I also have in the corner.
Do you really?
No, I don't. I was
I
just
don't know, man.
doing it for the bit.
Okay.
Let me think. Um,
Can I ask one question real quick?
Absolutely.
You know me, I'm always focused on sleep. What's the ideal temperature to go to sleep at?
Oh man. So with my mom, being disabled, she like is very sensitive to temperature. The house is always typically like 75 to like 80 something, and it's so miserably
Jonathan,
hot.
I mean this in the best way. I hope your mom dies.
Thank you. But when I was in Irvine, or even like not at your place because your AC wasn't working for a little bit there, and that was miserable.
Yes, it
Where
was.
I remember it was during the peak of summer, like 85 degrees outside, but we were in the upstairs rooms and we had electronics running, so it's probably like 90 in the
It was
room.
hotter in the house than it was outside.
I know. I would be literally sweating trying to sleep, and it was fantastic because I'd be laying on the bed, no blankets over me, on a bed that you broke, and it's at a corner slant, and I'm like, "Man, I'm living the
Didn't
life."
break that bad. I forgot that you we had the guest room that you eventually said, "I will claim this room as my own, so I will no longer sleep on the couch."
Yes, and
And
it
then
was
I
gonna
jump
be
on the bed and it fucking breaks, so it's at like a 25-degree angle.
it's so terrible because that was my first time sleeping in a bed in, like, 3 months or something at that
It
point.
was, and I ruined it right away.
And then I think the best part was the next day, I decided I'll sleep in the recliner in the next room over, and you broke that too. The very next day, you said, "Jonathan, you do not get to have nice things."
Jonathan, you were living at my house for free. You paid rent in your tears.
Oh man, I'm literally crying from laughing right now because of how amazing that was.
It
It
really
seems
was.
so intentional, but I know it wasn't.
Or was it?
Oh man. So, the dream bedroom has a bed that isn't at a 25-degree angle.
Oh,
So,
I mean, I might change that if I were you.
thank you. As far as actual ideal sleeping temperature, I think at UCI we typically had the apartment. I want to say like 65 to 72 degrees was around where we had it, and if it got too hot, I would like sleep with my window open to get it cooler.
Mhm.
I think around there. I like it on the slightly chillier slide. That way, like I no matter how I always have to sleep with a blanket. If I don't have something covering me, I am very uncomfortable. So it has to be on the cooler side to accommodate that.
Yeah, I'm the same way of I like sleeping with a blanket, but when it's too hot, I hate sleeping with a blanket, but I want to. So I definitely say 65 to 68 would be nice. And that is one of the annoying things of my air conditioner in Korea broke. We don't have air conditioning here because this place was built in like the 1800s.
Oh
So it's just
no.
been too long since I've had something where you can actually just type in a number.
Have you guys ever like considered getting one of those like floor unit, like just literally like that cools the air? I know it's kind of a short area of effect, but still.
No, we just have fans, and we do have like during the summertime an AC unit that you can stick in the window, so that's decent enough during that time.
That's fair. One of our mutual friends, Ken, he just spent like 500 on a floor like AC unit, and it got me kind of thinking like maybe I should do something like that because that room that I'm gonna be in gets miserably hot during the summer because it doesn't have a window directly outside because when the house was built for whatever reason, I don't know if it was added on later or what, but there's like a front porch area, but like instead of a wall, it just has sliding glass and it's only single pane. So like it becomes like a sauna in there. And unfortunately, since my room is connected to that, my room almost kind of gets like a sauna too.
Well, Jonathan,
And
going back to what you were saying earlier, I think that you should absolutely get an air conditioner in your room. I think you should paint everything black. I think you should get tactical lights in your ceiling or whatever, and just make it just that way. When someone walks in the room, they're like, "Oh, this man's gonna murder me."
yeah, just wait till they see the axe collection in the closet.
Exactly, exactly. All that deodorant.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just like a. It even has a thing of Terry Crews in there. It's kind of crazy.
Oh my
It's like a
god.
standee. But nah. Then let me think. Is there anything else that I think needs to be in a bedroom or is worth discussing? Hmm. I guess I have one other question.
Okay, hit me with it. It'll be the final question of this surprisingly almost 40-minute podcast.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we would have an objective with it, and there'd be some fun moments. But
Yeah.
This one is specific to this room specifically.
Hmm.
So due to the layout of the room, man, I wish I could like show you like a drawing or something. Maybe I should have planned that ahead of time. But
Paint the picture in my head.
okay, you walk into the room. The door is in the corner of the room as it is in most rooms, and facing directly forward is the wall, just a wall. To the right hand side of the wall is the window. To the left hand side of the wall, in the opposite like corner kind of thing, is the closet. So because the closet and door configuration one wall, you can't really put anything in that wall area. There's just not enough space. I could fit a piano, but other than that, like a keyboard piano, like a small one, not like a full grand piano.
I was gonna say this room is suddenly getting bigger than I imagined.
But that aside, so the big issue I'm coming with here is like something has to be next to that window, because if I have it on the empty wall that has nothing with it, like no door, no window, it means that I can't have anything else in the room at all, really. So either I put the bed next to the window or I put a TV and computer on the window side. What makes more sense to you, just based on how it's going to affect the lighting, whether I can open the blinds or curtains or whatever? Like,
Don't put the
just
computer or TV on that side because when it is light out and you want natural lighting, it's gonna cause glare.
wait. So you're saying you want it on the side that is on it, you want it on the same side as the window, that way the light doesn't flash against it.
Yes.
Okay, so that is like hard rule, do not change that, right?
Yeah, unless you're only planning to use that at night, which I mean is possible.
Not during the weekends probably though.
Yeah.
Okay, so definitely have bed opposite. That's pretty much the configuration I had before. I mean, that's pretty fair. And if I switch this, maybe if I switch the side the bed is facing, I could have something perpendicular to the window. Is that acceptable, or is that still causing glare?
Perpendicular.
So not parallel, so the light isn't flashing against it, but beside it.
Um,
Or do you think that's still too much glare?
I don't know what cardinal direction is your window facing.
Uh, Either north. Wait, actually, let me think. So
I'm not actually asking this question, Jonathan.
it's facing north. It's facing north.
Okay. Uh, you know how much sunlight you get in that room. If you think that perpendicularly you can put it in there and it's not going to like just destroy half of your screen with just overwhelming light, then you're fine. If you think like, man, it's going to be the weekend and the daytime and I'm going to always have to close my curtains because it's just a bitch to deal with, then yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. So then the real final question I will ask you: what do I do with my Yaren Bake tribute? Where do I put that?
Your cum tribute.
And with that, thank you for listening, everyone. Toot toot for news.